Hi everyone, in this video I'd like to share with you what God has been saying to me about the greatest wealth transfer there is, So basically this whole thing started with the Terra Luna Classic dream with the ripe bananas. Okay, so I had that dream with the ripe bananas, but what I didn't tell you is that after that dream I actually pursued the Lord in prayer, asking him if that dream is to do with timing. Does the fact that the bananas were ripe, does it represent, Lord, are you trying to say that the time is ripe, that the time is now? I was just speaking to the Lord in prayer, and I had a dream, and in that dream I was pregnant, and my water broke, and that was the dream. Apparently I was pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant in a dream, and my water just broke like that. And then I started to ask the Lord a little bit more about that, and then I had another dream, and this other dream I saw quite a few women in a waiting room to give birth. They were all in labor, and they were all waiting to be taken to the labor room and to give birth to their babies. So when I saw that dream, again, it was a very quick dream. When I saw that, I felt that the Lord was really saying to me, yes, it's now, it's time, So during that time, what happened was, this was all happening in the background. So obviously I didn't make any videos on any of this, because I just assumed the ripe bananas was enough, but maybe I should have made those videos on me having the water break and seeing all those pregnant women. But anyway, I started to really seek the Lord about this whole thing, But instead, rather than the Lord giving me more confirmation upon more confirmation, what he did instead was he started to speak to me about wealth transfer. And he started to speak to me about the greatest wealth transfer that we will see in that you and I will see. And he said to me, I will share the parable, the story he showed me in a minute. But before then, he was basically saying that in order to know the greatest wealth transfer that will happen, we would need to go back and look at Joseph. What happened with Joseph? Okay, so Joseph experienced that whole wealth transfer series of events that happened that made the Pharaoh very wealthy and Joseph very wealthy. And then his brothers who wronged him and were very mean and horrible to him, Joseph had to extend a hand of mercy and grace and love towards them. But he had to do that because he had, throughout the years, he had carried God's love. He had built himself up, or rather the Spirit of God had built him up to carry love. And he was able to extend love to his brothers who wronged him at a time when he should have paid them back, for the horrible things that they did to him. So anyway, so the Lord was explaining to me that that's what we're going to be seeing. But then he explained to me, and this is the bit I want to say to you, don't switch off, please. Just hear this part of this video at least, because the Lord gave me a story. He said to me, there was a man who had 7 children. And he said one of the children or 2 of the children had, they understood that their father was going to cause an increase in one of the assets, And so they had those assets in their possession. But the Lord said to me, but there were 3 who didn't know. And he said to me, which of a father do you know would quickly cause the assets to go up in value, knowing that there are 3 of his children who have not had a chance to buy that asset or to acquire that asset? He asked me that, and I said, you know, I thought I was walking when the Lord was speaking to me like this, and I thought, oh yeah, that's true. And he said to me that this, and he reminded me of a situation where somebody got offended that the price of a crypto went down after I had given a word saying this cryptocurrency is that God's gonna bless it. It's gonna make a lot of money, and somebody said to me, oh, it went down in price, blah blah blah. So the Lord reminded me of that comment, and he said to me that it's because we don't understand the Father's love. And he said, which of an earthly father do you know? How do you think that they would behave? And he said, how much more him, God Almighty, who is love, you know? So that's why when you see a prophetic word that is given and it's from God, and you get that inner witness that this is a word from the Lord, you get your spirit bears witness that this is God's voice speaking. And then the price goes down. But if you understood the love of God and the Father's heart of God, then you will understand that the price must go down before it then goes up. Why? To give your siblings a chance to acquire their own portion of that asset, you know? So so when the prophetic word is given, yeah, it's not going to go up tomorrow, because if it goes up tomorrow, like I said earlier, the Lord said to me, which of the fathers do you know would do that in the natural? They wouldn't do that in the natural. The reason why you give a prophetic word is because a prophetic word like that, you know, a word that is not a judgment word, is because you want to bless the people, isn't it? Right? It's because you're wanting to bless the people. So you say it and you give a moment for people to position themselves, buy up, fill up their bags, and then boom, and then it goes to where you said it was going to go to. So during the time when the Lord was speaking to me like this, you know, it's interesting because the Lord is amazing. Because what happened was somebody sent me an email, and they told me that they've just released a video, you know, because I think the Lord's been speaking to them about putting videos out on their channel, and they've just started to do that, and they sent me a link to their video. So so I was gonna watch the video thinking it was a cryptocurrency video, because a lot of my subscribers are into cryptocurrency, right? But to my surprise, his video is actually this. He was just speaking what the Lord has been speaking to me. I was like, wow. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Little did he know that God's really literally been speaking to me about love and about the greatest wealth transfer that is going to come upon us, you know, as a people that exists today, as, you know, this generation. If you're living right now, then you're part of this generation. The greatest wealth transfer will be that we will pour our love onto those who need love, and you'll be able to you'll be in a position to do more of that when you are built up with earthly wealth as well as compassion in your heart. Right? Because you need to be able to help people. How can you give somebody food if you can't buy the food? Yes, you can do miracles, multiplication, but, you know, the Lord decides to do things in various different ways, you know. So let me show you. This is the person. So I would really encourage you to watch. Sorry, that's his name. Okay, so yeah, do you see his name? So his name is Robert Walker, and the video is called The Practice of Unconditional Love. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable. And you can see it's only 12 minutes, just over 12 minutes long, and I really would encourage you to watch it, because he gives practical steps on the love of God. You need it. You really need it. I've told you guys about some years ago, the Lord showed me how the fruits of the Spirit will play out in the end time. It's going to play out so real. You're not going to believe it. It's going to be so real, the fruits of the Spirit. It will be like gold. I think I've said this in a video before. It was quite incredible what I saw in the end time of how the fruits of the Spirit would literally be like, he said, this is what I saw. I saw people were trying to covet the fruit of the Spirit. You know, people longed for it, you know. So anyway, so please watch this video, okay? Because I learned a lot from it here. It gives you practical steps and just simple things, simple checks as well on how you can check yourself, and just little things on how you can build yourself up. Not religious or complicated things, just little baby steps on how you can build your love for your neighbor, your family, that person who irritates you. Just, you know, how to take it step by step, okay? And, you know, talking to you about it, I think I'm going to go back and rewatch this video as well, you know. There are things the Lord can do for us, but there are things he expects you and I to do for ourselves. You know, God's not going to watch this video for you. You have to actually go and watch the video yourself, you know. You know, sometimes that's why there's a lot of misunderstanding with the laying on of hands. There are certain things that cannot be imparted. You know, we have to build ourselves up in that. And loving one another is one of them, you know. All right, everyone. So I'll see you guys in another video. Have a good evening. I hope you understand the greatest wealth transfer is love. Bye.